Welcome to Hold for Applause. I'm Courtney Craig, and it is so good to be with you today. If you're taking a walk, if you're doing the dishes, if you're in the car, whatever you're doing, just kick back. I'll be chatting up a storm today. We got a lot to talk about, lots going on here. And I'm just going to kick it right off because we're going to be talking about all different sorts of things, celebs, pop culture, TV, but we're going to dive right in first with I got to tell you something. I needed a spa day. Your girl needed a spa day, and guess what? She booked it. She booked it. I've never ever done one before where you like book multiple services, a package. You can't just book online. You have to call ahead and schedule it out and everything. And I did that yesterday. And the package I did was consisted of a facial, a Swedish massage, and it rounded up with a pedicure at the end. And it was like 4 hours, and I didn't have my phone with me. I told my husband, here's where I will be if you need me. But leave me alone. I'll see you after lunch. He was able to clear his morning schedule, which was really great. So he could help with some childcare stuff. And I'm doing it once a year. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to put a little money aside every month so I can enjoy doing this package because it is a little bit of a splurge. But I feel like if you just put a little bit, I can go with couple less coffees during the week. I can make my coffee at home. You know what I mean? Because I will just be saving because it was worth it. Because usually after like one treatment, you're like, okay, that's good. And then you're back to it. This really helped me unwind because I got my little slippers, sandals. I went and waited. There was tea, soft music, a fireplace. And then I started off with the facial, and the woman was walking me through what would be good for my skin. We talked about that. There was a nice little massage included. And then I had my Swedish massage, and I love getting those because, you're just like, I'm feeling just so tight up in the shoulders, and they're like, yes, you are so tight. They just confirm whatever you are saying, what's going on. And they're like, I can feel it. I can feel the tension where you were late last week. You were late for that appointment and you were feeling it right there. And I was like, I know, Sheila. You get me. And then I rounded it out with the pedicure. And that was a nice way to end it because the part of the spa where the pedicure was, it was brighter lights, more talking, more things happening. And that really got me out of it. And then I came home and I was happy as a clam. I said to my husband, yeah, you better buckle up. We're doing this once a year. Because the whole thing is he's going to be doing some fun stuff ahead. So he said, you know what, for himself. So I said, you know what? We not that we're titting for tatting, but a little bit. We're titting for tatting a little bit, but he was just like, have some PTO. I'll, make things work and you do this and then I'll be doing my thing. And I said, you know what? Yes, that is partnership, people. That is partnership. Okay. Yeah, I was just my son's walking in at 9:30 p.m. into my bedroom saying, I'm still hungry. And I said, oh, don't worry. Let me go get you a bar. Oh, you're still hungry after you had all this huge dinner? Here's the thing. I respect the growing moments of my 5-year-old's life. You are insatiable. When you are growing, you are insatiably hungry. And quite frankly, I can relate. I'm not even growing, but I can relate. I'm hungry a lot. I can't imagine actually be actively growing. I can't remember that time in my life. But, he'll have a 4-course meal and then he'll come knocking on my door, saying, I'm really hungry. And I'm like, all right, let's go down. Usually I'm kind of annoyed because that's usually my wind down time. I'm like, what's going on? But not last night. Absolutely. I'm chatting with him. We're having a good old time. So I probably am starting a bad pattern now, but regardless, do yourself a favor. Whatever it is that you like to do, my advice is if it's hiking, if it's reading, if it's a spa day, if it's singing, whatever it is, give yourself a little extra time than you normally do. Just add a little bit onto it and you will see and feel a big, big difference. Because now I'm like, I can't go back. Now I kind of feel like, okay, great. Oh, this hot stone was great, but where's my next treatment? And I think I got to stay away from the spot for a little bit. But it was glorious. It was wonderful. And speaking of things that I love too, I have been listening to a podcast, which you better go ahead and listen right now. After you listen to my podcast, you're going to want to turn on Good Hang with Amy Poehler. Okay. It is. You can also catch it on YouTube, TikTok. I've seen some clips on TikTok. Good Hang with Amy Poehler is so delightful. please do yourself a favor and listen to it. She's first off one of my favorite comedians of all time, but also it feels like you are just literally hanging with a group of friends or with a friend at their house. I mean, they had like Rachel Dratch was on, which was hilarious. Her doorbell rang. It was like all virtual with that crew, and it was really fun. And then she had Tina Fey on, Martin Short. It's just a great podcast. It's already just going to be on my go-to because what I like about Amy Poehler too is just her comedy has always been consistently funny, but she has also let us in a little bit more each year to who she is, and how she's just grown as a person, as we all do. And so it's kind of fun to sort of get this little like inside way of how I think she probably is and hangs with her friends. And it was fun. And Martin Short was on giving her a hard time. And I saw just maybe like an hour ago, and just listen to that podcast. It's a gem. It's a gem. I can tell already. It's a gem. And I'm one episode behind. I won't do spoilers of White Lotus because we are just not at the spoiler stage yet. I think people will have different times in which they watch it during the week and this and that. But I really wasn't sure what to expect from this season. I mean, we're in season 3 now, and it's the first season without Jennifer Coolidge, and I didn't know. It's hard to sort of repeat, like, okay, what's going to happen now at another resort? Really, how could this possibly happen? But Mike White, who is the writer, he directs the show, he's the creator of the show. He really does such a great job with tying in all of the storylines to make them seem very realistic as to how one step could lead to another towards obviously the big murder that we're going to find out about. I don't know if it's already happened. Again, I haven't seen the latest episode, but we're hitting the crescendo. You know what I mean? And I'm so happy that people are getting to know Walton Goggins because he's in the show. He's so great. And, I became familiar with him when he did the show called Vice Principals with Danny McBride. And of course, he's Uncle Baby Billy in The Righteous Gemstones, another Max show. Please watch. It's on its last season right now. So good. And I wasn't sure what to expect because I know that I've seen him more in a comedic capacity. I know he's been in other more serious stuff, but from what I've seen, it's been more comedic. And he's just such a good actor. You can tell he's just very grounded and he's confident in how he approaches his art, and here I am talking about that, the artiste. But I really do feel that. I feel like he's just one of those actors where it's like you could get him to read anything or do anything and he'll just make it happen and just put his own spin on it. I'm so happy that people are starting to really get to know him. Of course, Parker Posey, Victoria Ratliff, that is like, she is killing it always. And I've always loved her since, the Christopher Guest movie days, Best in Show and all that. But the cast is great. Carrie Coon, Patrick Schwarzenegger, Michelle Monaghan, Leslie Bibb, Natasha Rothwell. All of these people are just, I'm sure I'm missing more people, but it's fresher than I thought it would be. And I didn't underestimate it. I just thought, what is the way in here? I didn't know because I have to be honest with you. I'm taking a right turn right now because we're talking about White Lotus and, it's the repetitive, same thing happens season after season in different ways. One show that is not working for me for that is Love is Blind. Love is Blind. It's season 8. It's been 5 years of it. They've been pumping and cranking out these Love is Blind shows on Netflix. And of course, it's where you meet your potential partner without seeing them and you get to know them in what they call pods. There's a wall in front of you. So you really, is love blind? We all know love isn't blind. Okay, because the people that are getting cast are just I can tell you right now, if I was picked on that show and somebody saw me walk out, they'd probably say, I don't know. I don't think she's for me. Love is clearly not blind because I don't want to be with this person. But who knows? Maybe they could. Maybe they could. I'm not, but the people on that show are typically very hot and attractive. So I'd like to have a normie like me, on there. But anyway, the thing that I'm struggling with is since season 1, I think was probably one of my favorite seasons actually, because it was before the time when people knew that they could get on the show and really have like a huge social media following after potentially. So now you're sort of combating the social media aspect of the real world, which really didn't come into play till later seasons and who's DMing who and Snapchat and TikTok and all that jazz. But also there's just nothing new about the show. The producers aren't changing it. They're not updating it. There's no new challenges. There's no challenges at all. There's nothing that is like sticking out to me that is showing the show evolve. I think you can stick to the heart of the show, which is like meeting someone and getting to know someone before knowing what they look like. I think there's something to be said for that. That's an interesting way in, but I don't think that we need to stay there forever. You know, we do like the honeymoon at some beautiful destination. And then, of course, there's always drama when they meet, you know, the other cast members in real life. If you had a connection with someone else in the pod, you're like, oh my God, there's Nick over there. Like, oh, wow, I think I might be attracted to him. Screw you, Tommy, you know? But so there's always going to be that. But I feel like maybe if they could, I don't know, I mean, I'll say it till I'm blue in the face, but I really think that they should have real world challenges. Have them put furniture together, have them do taxes, have them have last minute in laws come stay with them for a week or whatever. Because I also think too, it's like they put so much pressure on the wedding at the end. What if it's like, you know, you have two options? I know it's the big height, the big moment of are they going to say yes or no? But I'm wondering if there's another way that you could sort of like capture the drama of will they or won't they stay together? Because getting married is necessarily the goal of partnership. And I think that they could explore that. Like you can still share your life with someone without walking down the aisle and saying, I do. I know it's important. I mean, I got married. I understand the reasons why people do and why so many people do. But I also feel like, you know, this could also be a show where they show that, you know, maybe love is blind to a partnership, even if it doesn't last, like recencies in their life, you know? I don't know. I mean, I guess that wouldn't be as interesting and it wouldn't be as high stakes, but I just think they need to evolve because I'm getting bored. I'm getting bored. I'm getting tired of the back and forth, the text messages and the, you know, people are not there for the right reasons. And it's hard to get people there for the right reasons, but maybe you could, I don't know, add a little spice to it in a different way. So that's where I am with Love is Blind. I'm kind of in a neutral phase right now with it. I'm not really like too happy with it. And I'm just so sad that Traders is over. I really am. Traders was my jam. You know that. I mean, I'm all over it. I love Traders. I'm so happy that All Faithfuls won. Yes. Although I was just happy that Gabby and Dylan won. I mean, like Dolores and Ivor, that's great. I mean, I'm happy like they were faithfuls, but really I was rooting for Dylan and Gabby to make it to the end. I'm so happy they did. And Gabby is like the breakout star of Traders, honestly. Gabby, Dylan, I'd say, and then Tom Sandoval has rebranded himself. People are enjoying seeing him on TV. I'm happy seeing him on reality TV. I saw such a different side to him than we did on Vanderpump Rules. He's just good TV. He is. I mean, in that capacity, he was really good TV. He was just, I don't know. He got super into it and he was just having fun with it. And Dylan Efron making a name for himself, got in there because of Zach, his brother, Zach Efron, of course. But, you know, he's making a name for himself. He seems like just a really nice, genuine guy. And what I liked about him on the show is that he always stayed steady and true to what he believed. And he was very smart because I know that I would not be as smart and picking up on the little moments where, oh, is that a traitor move? Is that a faithful, whatever? And I thought he was just such a good game player in that. And then also Gabby, of course. I mean, talk about just leading with yourself first. She's so authentic, so real, so funny. Gabby Windy on social media, just follow her. She's so great. She, of course was on The Bachelorette, or on The Bachelor, rather. And, you know, I'm excited for what's to come for her because I think she could be really fun on other shows, but in other ways too. I'd like to see her maybe, you know, on a red carpet or something like that. I'm hosting or doing her own show. I don't know, but she's really fun. So now I don't know what to watch. And then the other night I was thinking, I'm like, oh my gosh, is White Lotus the scripted version of Traders? No, I didn't have a gummy, but it felt like I did because I went in my mind. I'm like, wait a second. You're getting a group of people together, both shows, and you're both trying to figure out who done it. And then I was like, oh my God, should we have Traders at like a White Lotus resort? So it's the real life Traders. I don't know, but that got me going. Maybe I'm misguided, but I feel like that's what it could be. And I actually also want to go back to Righteous Gemstones because it's on Max. It's airing its last season. If you haven't watched it yet, go and enjoy yourself, please. It is I know that has a cult following, but I really think that it should be like winning awards. It is just such a great show. It just shows you the best way I can describe it is like, because there are serious I mean, it could easily be a dramatic show. It's about, if you haven't seen it, it's about a family who's at the head of a mega church where, one of those churches where they sell out and they're singing and dancing and everything. And they talk, they have behind the scenes. John Goodman is in it, and he's the, patriarch, and Adam Devine, and like I said, Walton Goggins, Danny McBride. There's so many great people in it. It gives way to just like, it's like grounded silly because they just like have the best, most, because I know it's not really improvised. I don't think there's much improv going on, but I do know that like it's just so well written. And to write a show well is just so hard. It's just so hard. It's like one of the best shows right now out there, honestly, is like Abbott Elementary, because they did this karaoke episode. Oh my God, just do yourself. I'm not even gonna give you more info. Just go watch it, because that is, honestly, they will submit that for award season. That one's one of the best episodes. It's just so great. They are TV's having an interesting time. I know film is a mess right now because everything is just sequels, already brands. You got if it's not a household name already, it won't be made into a movie. They want guaranteed hits, and streaming has changed everything with movies. And I think it's sort of at a hard time right now. I think movies and TV, they're kind of like, it's obviously not what it used to be. They're sort of struggling with what to do, how to capture the most audiences. I feel like that's always the goal, of course. But yeah, I just feel like TV shows in general we're just not in that golden age. Because once also celebrities got into the limited series, which I'm a fan of. I love a limited series. I love a Big Little Lies. I love, I'm all for that kind of thing. But I just think you start cranking them out, that's like the new movie, because those shows could easily just be a movie. For sure, that they just break up into different parts. And then you do have a movie, and then you have It Ends With Us, and that could have been a wonderful franchise, but obviously that's not happening with all these lawsuits with Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, and now Blake Lively wants them to dismiss Justin's lawsuit, and Justin's going back and forth and all this. And at this point, I don't know. I don't know whose team. It's team this, team that. Just enough, okay? Because at the end of the day, people want to be entertained for a couple hours out of their hard day's work. Maybe they had a hard day, maybe they had a good day. And of course, celebrity gossip and who's doing what and behind the scenes. I'm doing that in my podcast. Obviously, I have an interest in that as well. I feel like that movie in particular is hard for me to digest, because that there won't be another one. Likely, that there won't be and It Starts With Us, because that was, honestly, I did enjoy the movie. Did enjoy it. I did. Had I not known, if I had just watched it, if I was just out on an island and I just was flipping through and I saw It Ends With Us, I didn't know anything about the other drama, I would have said, that was a nice movie. And then I'd go cook my scallops. That was a good movie. Okay. But now it's like, and I'd say, I can't wait for It Starts With Us. And then someone would call me and say, guess what? Not happening. But yeah, I'm interested to see. I know that in my world too, because I was a production manager and a producer in the TV world for a long time, and I'm a part of a lot of groups now who are just, there's no work. There's just no work. Everything's at a standstill. And at the end of the day, I think that something's got to give, and I'm hoping that things settle and things become more, we find our new normal in this world, because in the TV world, because I think people are just, there's a lot to watch, there's a lot to see, but I'm hoping they get back to quality over quantity. But I don't know. That's just me. I have to say, I have an order in the court, and my order in the court today, and I did this over on TikTok, but I'm going to do it here as well. An official order for edible arrangements, which I think is called now edible. Just edible. I've heard a little bit of a backlash. People saying they don't like edible arrangements. They don't think it's a good gift. Hello. All right. Grandma died. I want cantaloupe on a stick. That makes my day better. Ding dong. I'm celebrating my birthday. You better believe I'm eating chocolate covered strawberries made out of the shape of a flower. Happily. I'm celebrating greatly with it. And I'm going to say also that I think it's a gift that you give in times of tragedy. and you give it a gift in times of celebration. Who doesn't love a gift that you can eat? Because I've gotten those gifts before. And listen, I'm happy for the thought, no matter what. I'm happy for the thought. But if so I've gotten the plastic wrap cookies, it's like those are great, but you're getting fresh, good eats with edible arrangements. And my order in the court is do yourself a favor. And maybe even if it's just a regular old day, you can go into the store if they have one near you and go purchase a little arrangement for yourself or order one for yourself or someone else. I have to say, I also like the company, and this is not an advertisement. This is not a branded advertisement at all because I wouldn't be doing it for free, everybody. But I will. If I like something, here we go. Spoonful of Comfort. I have sent that to people when they were sick. I think I sent something after someone died. I think I sent something I can't remember. I don't know. But that's a good one because you can send soup, you can send cookies. They give rolls and everything, and they come right to your door. It's fresh, it's good. And that's also a good company. But my point is my number one golden rule in life: if you don't know what to give someone, send food. Send food. If they're celebrating, if they're happy, send food. That's my ruling. No matter what it is, if they're sad and they're grieving, send food. Okay? Because at the end of the day, it's like something that they will likely eat, or at the very least, someone else in their household will. Or it's the thought that they're going, oh, they thought of me. I'm so happy. I'm so happy to have it. Anyway, well, I hope you have a nice rest of your week. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I got some fun things cooking up for this little show here that we have going on. If you don't forget to follow me on Hold for Applause, don't forget to follow me at Quartz Craig's Comedy. Thank you for listening to Hold for Applause. I'm on TikTok, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram, Blue Sky, all of it. Just follow me along there. I'm having some good times, good fun over there. And we'll see you soon. Have a great rest of your week. Bye.